Hey everybody, I'm Christ. I am disciple. It's been a while since I talked with you guys. This is a quick impromptu live stream. I want to talk about two things. So let's start with the first one. Thorns in the flesh. You hear that saying so much. I got the thorn in my flesh, blah, 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 blah. But think about it. Christ had thorns put into his flesh. Now think about it. A thorn is painful. Have you ever walked over a surface and either a nail got stuck in your foot or a piece of wood, a splinter got stuck in your foot? That happened to me. I can't show you it right now because my foot's healed back up, but a splinter went up in my foot. Oh, it hurt like hell. It hurt like hell. It's very uncomfortable. It was very, very uncomfortable. Now, thorns in the flesh. Let's talk about it. A thorn in the flesh is usually an addiction or habit or trait that's repeatable. It's something that you go to, it feels good, or you find yourself doing it, whether you like to or not. And after it's done, you feel terrible. You feel sore. You feel bruised. You feel horrible, depressed. But how do you remove the thorn from your flesh? How do you do it? So I got stuck with this splinter in my foot. It's very uncomfortable, irritable. Ugh. So I went and got a tweezer. But in order to get that splinter out of my foot, I had to rip my flesh open. I had to use the tweezer and rip the flesh open so that I could pull out the thorn. Circumcision is not a comfortable thing, right? It's where you cut the foreskin off of the head of the penis. It's not comfortable. It's bloody. It's ripping the flesh apart. Similarly, you must be circumcised to remove thorns out of your flesh. And the experience of removing that thorn from your flesh is more painful than keeping the thorn in your flesh. It is the circumcision or the removal of the thorn by ripping the flesh apart that Jesus did on the cross for you and for me. It was a very uncomfortable experience. It was worse than carrying a thorn that we carry in our flesh. Because Jesus was circumcised and because blood and water came out of him, we can now be circumcised of thorns in our flesh. We have the power to go through all that pain and rip our flesh open and remove the thorn. This is being born again. Paul says, I die daily. Such a circumcision kills the old man. The old man's like the foreskin that's ripped off of your flesh, and you have new flesh that remains. So I wanted to just talk about that because as a Christian walk, a lot of us as Christians constantly on a daily basis die. We die because there are all kinds of thorns in our flesh, all kinds of habits and traits. We're not perfect that we see. And we don't like sin. It's very despicable. We hate seeing it, but we end up doing it. And Paul says the things I don't want to do, I end up doing. And it is such a disgusting thing. But we die daily. Sometimes we die because bad habits are hard to die. And so we have to die so those bad habits could die. Sometimes we lose a lot because of bad habits. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I think in the Christian walk, a lot of you guys struggle with that. But the one thing that probably in the back of all of your minds is that Jesus has overcome. He was circumcised for our transgressions. That crown of thorns he wore on his head was our burdens that he carried. And he gives us hope, like Superman, the ultimate Superman. He gives us that hope that we can overcome. So actually, this whole incident actually happened about almost a month ago, where I got stuck in my foot with a thorn in my flesh. And I was thinking about how I had to remove it. And coincidentally, at the same time, I was involved in a bad habit. And I looked at both and I was saying to myself, look at that. I want to get rid of that, but I have to actually cut it out. I have to cut my own flesh to get it out. I have to cut my own ego to get it out. I have to cut my own pride to get it out. I have to cut my own way of living to get it out. Yeah, people, that's thorns in the flesh. Let's talk about the power on my other channel, What You Need. I talked about it a little bit. One of the thorns in my flesh, well, there's several, but I can confess them on here. I don't have a problem. The first one of my thorns that I still fight up to this day is my pride, and therefore, as a result, I curse and swear quite a lot. I stop, I start, I stop, I start, but I do. The second thorn in my flesh is one that has to do with below the belt, which has to do with, uh, fornication. Another thorn in my flesh, I have several. I guess like everybody else. Another thorn in my flesh is, hey, shout out to Leroy Khan. What's up, my dude? And I guess some of you guys will relate with this because I think there's a lot of you that struggle with these things too. Another thorn in my flesh that I have is not listening, disobedience. Okay. Sometimes I know what I'm supposed to do. The Spirit has told me what I'm supposed to do, and I just don't do it. So these are some of the things. Of course, I also self-sabotage myself. I delay, procrastination, many other things. But those are thorns in your flesh. But if I didn't have thorns in my flesh, then I wouldn't have had the thorn in my flesh. My biggest thorn in my flesh, because I'm a knowledge-based person, is my ego. Oh man, do I love to get proud and haughty on people? Do I like to be put together? But in order to get those thorns out, you must be born again. You must be circumcised. And even if you're born again, sometimes you got to die daily. As they say, the flesh has to be put to death. So I just wanted to share that. Now, the power that you have. Oh, I love this part. I love talking about the power that you have. You have a lot of power. A lot of power to do good in this world, to uplift, to help, support, and heal. That power is so great in each and every individual. Let me do a numbers game for you guys. A lot of people feel that evil is greater than good in this world, but it's not true. The average person's really cool and really good and really supportive and really honest still to this day. To this day. There's a lot of good in this world. There's an election going on. And it probably will be settled somewhere around Friday, Saturday, right? But even so, there's a lot of good people in this world. In every country, in every town, in every city, in every place. There's a lot of good people in this world. And it's powerful, even though they don't get that much shine, even though people don't focus on them too much. There's a lot of good things going on. I just went outside and the kids were playing football. They weren't wearing masks. They were playing their football, enjoying themselves. And I looked at that and I smiled as I was walking by. Because there is good in this world still. So you have the power to change things. You've seen it with the Snyder Cut. When individuals come together and unite for common good, good happens. So be encouraged. Shout out to Leroy Count watching this video. Smash the like button if you want to. There's a lot I have to talk about concerning Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers and the possibility of, sequels to Zack Snyder's Justice League and, possibly, Ben Affleck's Batman coming to HBO Max. We saw that on Twitter, the head of HBO Max putting it out. A lot of good things going on. And I want to just tell you guys, I'm glad to know you guys. And on top of that, I'm happy to be able to share with you guys whatever I know. On that note, Christ I'm Disciple out. I will be dropping off an album called Invisible with a bunch of songs. So look out for that album. It'll be coming to you very soon. All right. And it's free. You guys can donate to my channel. Donate to me if you want to support me in this venture after I'm done. Or not. It doesn't matter. But I'll catch you guys later. Christ I am Disciple out. Peace.